Hey, my Married at First Sight Nashville fans. Yes, it's our turn. I know I've been talking about Australia this week, but we got to talk about what's going on with the States version. So we got to talk about the fact that the honeymooners are now coming to their last day. We see Clint actually apologizes to the group, and then all of the 5 couples are now back home settling into their apartments. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T. I got another recap for you guys. Married at First Sight Nashville, Season 16, Episode number 7, Jamaican Me Crazy. And without any further ado, let's talk about this episode. So, our 5 couples share their final moments together in beautiful paradise. One couple fight their way back to common ground. A heart-to-heart does more harm than good. The honeymoon ends and the couples travel home where their shared spaces is going to deepen some of their bonds. So, let's get into it. So first off, let's start with Christopher and Nicole. And we've been seeing this preview for the last week or so where we see Chris is devastated over something. What is that? He learns that his new apartment has a 2-dog limit.
No, that's not an option. Look at me. That's not an option.
Sorry. I don't know what to do. Like, obviously, I want to do everything to make the marriage work, but this is not easy for me.
This could be a big hurdle for us.
I'm not willing to do this.
So with Nicoles Dog, they will have a total of 3 dogs in their home. And when she notices Chris sitting outside, she finds him crying hysterically at the thought of being without his dog, jeopardizing the marriage. However, to her credit, Nicole is patient and goes into problem-solving mode. Now, eventually, they speak to the producers. Nicole decides to let her dog, and she also talked to her dad, stay at her apartment with one of the family members during the experiment. And they still interact together, but both Chris's dogs would be in their new apartment for a few weeks. Now, I gotta say with this particular couple, they are impressive. I like the way that things have been going. I like the way they even work through this situation. I'm hoping there's no ball to drop with these two. I do know the spoilers are out about all of the couples, and this couple right here is promising, but we gotta stay tuned and hopefully they don't revert back to their old ways. However, they did have one interesting conversation on this episode on where they're standing with their feelings, whether they love each other. Check it out.
Would you say yes?
Yeah, I would.
I would say yes. You love me?
No, not really. Not really. Not yet. I like you.
I like you too, but I don't love you.
I know. So, I say it's been a long day, so let's get ready for bed.
So yes, they realistically understood where they actually stand with each other. Look, it only has been 9 days, so at least they're taking the step-by-step approach to build a relationship. Next up is Clint and Gina, and Gina is still playing the victim after her feelings were hurt by Clint telling her she isn't his usual physical type. Listen, we are not everybody's cup of tea. I know that, I understand that, and I'm okay with that. And it's also important to note that she casually did the exact same thing to him first, not even a day beforehand. And if an apology is due, I actually think it's mutual. Meanwhile, Clint also did seek advice from some of the other men. However, we did get to see Clint deciding to bite the bullet and apologize to his wife and even the other wives.
So, I think in the short period of time that we've all been here, I want to exude and exonerate, like, I'm Front Street. I try to be as real as possible, and sometimes I say ridiculous, crazy comments, and they're right off the cuff, right?
Not swinging. Strong and wrong.
But strong and wrong. But let's focus on the wrong part. And so I said some comments last night that were like off the cuff and in the moment, and it wasn't to disparage anyone. And so I talked about like slender and hope, and I don't think it hit the right way. It was the wrong choice of words. It was just to like trying to give everybody some context of like where I've been in my past life.
I think it's disgusting what Clint said, and not only did he say it, he didn't even think to apologize after.
He's a lot, and for me to say that should speak volumes in itself.
I'm telling you, there's some interesting things going on this season, especially when you had Kirsten talking about no bald heads and other people talking about gingers and gingery people and things like that. Come on, Gina, really? And seriously, I mean, I honestly see in social media that a lot of people are kind of not liking the fact that Gina actually started this first. Anyway, now that they've settled into their new apartment, Gina and Clint seem to be on one accord. I mean, they have gone from telling each other that they're not attracted to one another to seemingly like they can get along once again. And only if things could be that simple. There is no way that Gina is going to just let that go, just from the way that the things have been handled. And you know what? As soon as something happens she don't like, of course, she's going to be right out the door. Okay, so next up is Aris and Jasmine. So during that whole group outing, Aris tells Jasmine that he thinks their relationship is at a 7 at a scale out of 10. Now, I don't know about you guys, but did you remember him telling the guys that his wife likes him, but he only sees her as a friend? This was just last week. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like Aris don't waste time. You know, if he knows he's interested and he knows he's not. And that's probably why his cousin thought the whole idea of him getting married is a joke. And it's obvious that Jasmine entered the experiment with good intentions, but I don't know about Aris. I mean, it seems like he has, you know, of course, focused on physical appearance. Men are visual, I get it, but he also needs to see his wife's positive traits as well. And then later, we also see a conversation between Aris and Jasmine where Aris finally admits to Jasmine that he only sees them as friends.
Right now, I feel more of like a friendly vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I don't know, if I had a crisis and I was in an accident tomorrow, I have 100% confidence that like you'd be right there in the hospital bed. If I had to roll over, you had to wipe my ass, I know you would do that. Like, I'm confident, like hands. Like, I've already figured that out in 1 week, you know? So I feel like the other stuff, for me, I just need time to like get there. I'm just hoping like you said you'll give me grace, I'm hoping like you'll continue to do so.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be nobody's friend. I'm trying to be a wife out here in these streets. So I guess I just didn't want to hear the friend word from my husband.
Now, although Jasmine handles it well, she makes it clear in that whole post interview that she didn't sign up for a friend. Seriously, I get it. What woman wants a man that she's interested in only to see her as his friend? And I guess we'll have to see if anything changes once they begin living together. And I mean, honestly, Aris's house is nice. It seems like he's very neat. He's very organized, and he has the ultimate bachelor pad. Jasmine might have to have her work cut out for her, because also as they move into the apartment, it seems like he's a bit bossy. I mean, he literally walked into their apartment making rules and executive decisions according to what we heard Jasmine say. I mean, no stepping on the carpet with shoes. I know a lot of people that do that. Also, the whole thing about outside clothes and making sure you put stuff away. And I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. Most times you don't see that with a group of the guys. But in this case, Aris obviously feels that way. So can they turn this whole thing around? Honestly, I think they could. But a lot of that depends on Aris and him building that emotional connection with Jasmine. But hey, it remains to be seen. Next up is Shaq and Kirsten. Now, honestly, we don't have a lot to say about Shaq and Kirsten in this episode. I mean, they're just biding their time, look like, to decision day. And I really don't, you know, as much as they look cute together, she is not into Shaq, and they're definitely getting along to get along with each other. I just don't see any real chemistry, and she probably never got over her initial lack of attraction with the whole bald head situation. Now, Shaq, on the other hand, is very attracted to his wife. He seems very patient with her, but it's only a matter of time before he'll wonder why things aren't progressing in their marriage. And we kind of got a prelude to that when we saw Pastor Cal having a conversation on whether there is any chemistry or attraction in this relationship. And finally, McKinley and Dominique. So these two have a discussion about some of their differences. Things got a little tense when she tells him that she feels like she is forcing him to do things rather than him being happy to do it. I mean, come on, get a guy some credit. At least he's trying. Everyone is not the type that like the outdoors and all these adventurous activities. And isn't it more important that he's willing to even try than not to enjoy not making his wife happy? I mean, seriously. Dominique doesn't seem to appreciate or understand that. And if she wants things to last, she's going to have to accept her husband for who he is and not just who she wants him to be. Now, on the flip side, when they got back home, McKinley takes Dominique to his friend's family basement to show off his living quarters. And although it's not bad, she's not impressed though. And his wife, of course, is nervous that he's not established and wonders if he truly actually even planned to stay in Nashville. And even in a post interview, he expresses frustration by her reaction because he was upfront about the situation. Honestly, though, I can see both sides. I mean, I would definitely, have some questions about his life choices, but I can also understand why he would be defensive with a woman he just met. That happens to be pretty critical at times. So it's going to be interesting. What do you guys think? Do you actually think that they can make it work? But we've already seen the previews, and it is not looking good for McKinley and Dominique. Okay, so let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. What do you think about our couples? This whole thing with Gina and Clint, Aris and Jasmine, and then McKinley and Dominique. Yeah, it's not looking good for a majority of these couples. However, Kristen and Nicole are looking really good and productive at this point. So let me know your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for other recaps on this channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.